Hello, welcome to day 16 of God's Great Hope, 30 Days of Prayer for Revival. And this devotion is brought to you from the North Carolina Baptist State Convention, and you can go to the website prayfor30days.org to look at the guide and also to see other resources that are available. We're picking up with day 16, and in Isaiah chapter 6, part of verse 5, it says, "And I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips." The title for day 16 is Desperate Because of the Spiritual Famine in the Land. Isaiah was not only broken before God over his own sin, but he was also broken over the spiritual famine among God's people and in the land. Two truths surface from Isaiah's confession. First, Isaiah was a prophet who was with the people. This is seen in the use of the phrase, "I will dwell in the midst," or "I dwell in the midst." Dwell means to live and take up residence in a place or with someone. In the midst means to be in the middle of something or some group of people. This shows Isaiah's heart for the people of Judah and the ministry which God called him. Although King Uzziah and the people were rebellious, sinful, and refused to remove the high places from the land, Isaiah did not isolate himself from them. He was a true prophet with a pastor's heart, concerned about God's people and their spiritual condition. Second, Isaiah's major concern was with the spiritual lives of the people throughout Judah, especially God's people. They, like Isaiah, had unclean lips, which refers to the moral and spiritual bankruptcy that was rampant across the land. The people lacked purity in their hearts because they had committed spiritual adultery by blending worship for the Lord with the worship of pagan deities. They pretended to be followers of the Lord, but had divided hearts, practiced pagan rituals, and worshiped pagan idols. Thus, the people were guilty of hypocrisy and practiced a mere outward form of religion. They trampled the courts of the temple with their half-hearted expressions of fake devotion and worship during festivals, season of prayer, and solemn assemblies, as found in Isaiah chapter 1. They were also guilty of practicing injustice, evil deeds, and refused to defend and take care of the fatherless and the widows. Despite all the serious concerns surrounding Uzziah's death, Isaiah clearly understood that the most pressing issue was the sinfulness and lack of purity among God's people in the land. Today, right before the eyes of the world, the spiritual and moral fiber of America is literally coming apart at the seams. Because of this, the American church finds itself in a battle for the soul of America. However, the American church is struggling and losing ground in this battle because it has failed to address the root issue at hand. What is the root issue behind the moral and spiritual collapse in the church and in America? The answer is found in one three-letter word: sin. The church and the American culture as a whole have a major sin and heart problem. We have sinned against God, and because of His holiness, we now stand before Him facing discipline and judgment. Therefore, it is imperative that we unite in desperate prayer for God's mercy, His grace, and His forgiveness. We need to repent of our sin, seek God's face, and turn from our wicked ways, individually and corporately. We simply must. Today's prayer prompts are these. First, ask the Lord to help you to see the spiritual famine and sin in our lives as well as in the nation. And then secondly, pray for the church to seek God's mercy, united together in prayer concerning the sin in this land. Continue to pray fervently, wholeheartedly, trusting in the Lord and His sovereignty. May God bless you this day.